Hello, welcome to the Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. And as you've seen from the title card and the intro, this is a big deal to Age of Sigmar, in my personal opinion. I'd like to give you a little bit of background about me before I tell you what we're about to look at. I have been intimately involved in the Age of Sigmar scene now professionally for close to about 8 years. Obviously, I've done a lot of stuff for Games Workshop when I was working there. And ever since then, I have either live streamed international events or events locally, like live stream them. So I've gone to events and set them up, or I've run events at my own venue here, or I've obviously played in events. And that is a lot of organization and understanding the problems that arise from organizing events, but also playing in events. And there's always been some main factors. Number one, where are lists? Number two, how do I organize people to play an event? Now, normally you'll use what's called pairing software. That's where you put all of the players into some sort of software, and what you'll do is they'll upload their lists on there, although that's not always the case, and then they'll play against each other, and the pairing software will do stuff based on parameters that you've set up. Pairing software has got better over the years, but this is super important, and I know you're about to click off because you're like, God, this is boring. I promise you, this is a game changer if you play Age of Sigmar either at events or casually. Either of those two things. This is a big, big deal. Okay, what am I talking about? Okay, there's a new website that's been set up, or more importantly, version 2 of a new website has been set up, and it's called Malaky. Now, again, I'd like to establish the problem that I, as a tournament organizer, have. There is software already that exists where people can upload lists and then you compare them against each other, and it works great. There is no problem with that. However, it doesn't look great and it doesn't integrate with other elements that I would like to see. For instance, I'd like to see personal player stats would be a thing. I'd like to be able to look at lists. I'd even like a scorecard so I can digitally track my game. So I don't need a pen and paper or those other things. Just be something that I do on my phone. This website plans to solve all of those problems. I'd like to be clear as well, before we go any further, I'm not sponsored by this website. I don't have any business affair or integration with this website. In fact, I've just subscribed and signed up to this website. I did see early access of this website and then when I saw the early access, I was like, this feels great. And now, unsurprisingly, it's ended up looking great, in my personal opinion, but this is where the chance for you to let me know how you feel. Go and have a little click around the website and then leave your ideas in the comments below. All right. So this website is trying to be a pairing website where you and me could play a game and we could track our scores against each other. That's great. But it adds so many more factors into this entire endeavor that I think it's really going to be a game changer. Let's start with all you casual sweet chestnutters in the chat. So anyone who is more of a casual player, plays at a local club or plays with their group of mates, well, that's not a problem because you can see up here, we've got clubs and leagues. We'll be coming soon to this, but you can do just individual matches. We'll talk about the individual matches in a minute, but we'll talk about the fact that the entire thing is backed up by a global story. You can see that here on the front page, but let's just take a look at the home page. Here you can see the different allegiances that you can sign up to, because when you subscribe, which costs no money, it's free. I'd like to be clear, it's free to use. When you join up, you can be one of the factions. So one of those 4 factions. You could be like, I would like all of my points, any games that I play to go to destruction because I'm on destruction side. You can see here that chaos and order are winning. On the right-hand side, you can see the win rates from the GHB or the General's Handbook for people who have submitted scores. And seeing as version 2 is out today, it's only a few people, right? Okay, so that's there. And then you can see the latest activity from people in the community. I have just, while live on Twitch, inputted a score here. And we can look at that in a moment. In fact, let's look at that right now. If we click on this, we straight away go and see that there was a battle between me and someone called Booben. Booben won. And then there is loads of details. A breakdown of the scorecard here on how the match went. You can leave comments. I wrote that Bobbin cheered because he beat me. You can leave tags, and you can even upload pictures. And because this wasn't a real battle, this is just a picture of my friend Dick van der Hoosen, which is not in any way relevant and is in fact 40k. But you can upload pictures of your battle as well. And what's nice is these will be stored for you to constantly go back to. You can go back and be like, oh, oh, let me show you this game that I played when I was at my friend's house. Here are some pictures from the matches, and you can even see what the score was. You can see what the lists were. For example, if I want to click on Bobbin here, I'm pretty certain if I click on Bobbin, I can see his profile. I can see his win rate, what he's been playing with, tournaments and battles that he's had, and all of those other things. And then I can see all of his stats, which are all located here, which is fun as well. But that's getting right into the nitty gritty, which we don't need to do. Instead, let's talk about the fact that this entire website is narratively themed as well. So here you can see that we have the aftermath, or the story of the aftermath. So the narrative, which has been this ongoing story. So as people, and here's a bunch of articles, as people submit their scores to the winning factions, you'll end up with this ongoing story, which they will progress as we go through. Here you can see the different characters that you can submit your allegiance to. And here you can see, for instance, that Garlock Shoresteel's players, so that would be all of us, have only submitted 33% win rate. Therefore, he's not going to be winning the narrative story when we go on to the next bit of story, which is fun. The characters are varied, and as you can see here, there's 2 at least for each of the Grand Alliances that you can submit to, which is cool. Let me know which one of the ones you want to sign up to. And then there's even a detailed breakdown on who the characters are. Let me tell you, this is something Games Workshop should buy immediately. This is infinitely better than anything that's already on the on the internet. It kicks the ass out of any software or website that I've seen so far. So this already, and Games Workshop should be literally seething that they don't have anything even close to this. This is brilliant stuff. And it's wild that it took a group of dedicated hobbyists to build a website, to integrate, to create something that tells all these stories and interlocks them, as well as giving tournament gamers the ability to build in some incredibly good infrastructure and software. And it kind of annoys me that Games Workshop haven't done this. This should be version 7 for Games Workshop, not version 2 from a group of very competent hobbyists based in Sweden. Next up, let's talk about starting a battle, right? So there's all this story. We can submit our results to tell this story, but what do we do? And you can see here, it's super simple. We're going to play Nexus Collapse. We're going to play in a narrative, the world axis, and it's 2,000 points. And if you don't care about the story, you never have to worry. If we select our army, I could add a new list, or I could pick one of the lists I previously played. I've been playing with the Stormcast Eternals list, so I'm just going to choose that, which is easy. One of the nice things, I probably should show you some functionality because this works the same. If we go to, if I edit the list, or we'll do that next time, but you can, whenever you submit your list in here from War Scroll Builder, it automatically creates your list for you, passes it out, which is nice. We're going to play against someone. I'm going to see if Jesper is available to play. There's Jesper. He's from Sweden as well. And we're going to play, which is cool. We can add which list as Jesper's going to play. It might be something new, or I can play one he's previously played, which is Soulblight Gravelords, which I'll do. Click Next. And off we go. Do I want it to be a match play game? Absolutely perfect. Or do I want to be a custom game? Do I want to choose from a bunch of different stuff and set up something different? Pretty cool, which is fun. And then we click Next, and then we go through Start Battle, and then we do everything that you saw in the previous profile, where we choose all of the different information, like the grand strategies. We choose who went first. We click through all this stuff, and this will eventually kick out that previous, as you saw, battle result, where you can input pictures, you can input the story, we can do everything, which is hot. Lastly, and then when you finally do get to the end of that, you can have your profile, which I've talked about here as well. So here's your profile and all the information. But this is where it gets really, really fun, because if I really want to, I can go back. Let me just make sure I can find this. This is new. So go to my battles, and I can look at the one that I played against Boban. Here you can see all the stuff, but also importantly, you can see a chronological timeline of how the battle went. I'm pretty certain I need to find exactly where it is. It might be here. Oh no, that's. That's just an advertisement for jokes. View the log. Here it is, the battle log. Here you can see exactly what happened in the match. So this is me inputting all the data as we played the game, right? So round one, I completed a battle tactic. I held more objectives than my opponent. So these are all the things that you can see just above my head here. What's cool about this is when you get to the fact that you can run events on here. So when you decide you're going to run a tournament, if you have everyone signed up and they use a scorecard on here, when I'm looking at an event, like if I'm running an event at the TSN Arena in Nottingham, all of you somewhere else in the world are going to be able to track what is happening in each match individually as it's live happening. So you can have post-analysis where you wake up in a different time zone, you'd be like, oh, I wonder how that match went in America yesterday. Then you go through and you think, oh, round two, I can see that he failed his battle tactic, and that's why he lost the match, or they lost the match, sorry, which is cool. Or you could be watching like the Age of Sigmar World Championships, and you could live be watching the match update as they update. I can't tell you how exciting that is as a fan of tabletop wargaming, right? It's so good, right? It's incredibly good. So I'm super excited about this as a project, and I think that there's probably loads more to go through in the future, which I'm also looking forward to. So we'll have to break this down more, and obviously we've got to run it through the mill, right? We have to put it into event structures. We have to run it through event structures. We have to run it through a bunch of... and if we go back, you can see right now, Jesper, who's currently in Sweden as I'm live streaming, so shout out to Jesper, is updating the results of the score. And just behind me here, the results are coming in, and you can see them moving. So both players or either player can update this result as well. This adds a bunch of incredible functionality to this website. If you've watched till the end, you've just listened to me bang on about something which probably doesn't seem like a big deal to you. Apart from you can use it at home, you can tell your story. This integrates two things which many people say are separate, and I've always said is interlinked. This integrates narrative and also tournament gaming. I've always said they're linked. I've always said tournament gamers are narrative gamers. This website brings that closer. It removes the antisepticness of like just some Google Sheets versus some other Google Sheets, and instead gives you the capacity to create a story as well and tell that story. I'm incredibly excited about this. I think it's really cool. I'm super proud of the guys for creating it. And again, it just shows the Age of Sigmar community is just leagues above the other ones. So loads of love to everyone. Please do go check it out. Let me know what you think of it. If you do end up on the website, let them know that the Honest Wargamer sent you. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon.